Hi everyone. Can you guys hear me? Hello. Hi. Hi guys. Where are you guys all tuning in from? Hi. I'm just as excited as all of you. I'm beyond excited. Ooh, Florida. Is the weather nice out there? Ah, New York. I love New York. I miss traveling. Hi, Rose. Ooh, Miami. Scotland, that's so amazing. Hi, everyone. Italy, wow. Ugh, I miss Italy. I was in Rome last November and I ate so much delicious food. It was so amazing. I can't wait to go back. I'm just gonna wait a couple minutes just to make sure that everyone is on here. I'm happy everybody can hear me. Baltimore, Scotland. Oh my God, so amazing. Well, I'm beyond excited to be here today. I'm beyond excited to be connecting with all of you. And we're going to have so much fun. I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite tips and tricks on how to achieve a glowing, perfect complexion. So, just going to wait a couple more minutes. All right, so let's get started. Today is going to be all about how to achieve a flawless complexion based on your specific skincare needs using one of my favorite Bobbi Brown products, which is the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. This foundation is truly amazing because you can customize it according to your specific skincare needs. This foundation is magical because it's a 16-hour wear. It has a it has naturally derived minerals that help control shine and oils throughout the day. So I love this foundation. It looks flawless on the skin. It's what I use in my kit because you can truly combine it with different skincare for it to meet your specific skincare needs. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you guys how this pairs with different skincare by Bobbi Brown. The first one I'm going to show you guys is the Bobbi Brown Extra Repair Moisture Cream. So one of my favorite tips is mixing a coin-size amount of this foundation. So I'm going to take a little bit of it on the back of my hand. And I love mixing that with one pump of the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. Now, this is going to give you a really beautiful, glowy consistency. And this is going to be amazing for those of you who have dry skin and for those of you who might need a little bit of extra hydration. Now, you can see that beautiful finish. It leaves such a beautiful radiance on the skin. And this moisturizer actually has glycerin and sodium hyaluronate in it. I'm not an esthetician. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. But what it does is it pulls moisture to the skin so that you are super moisturized and hydrated throughout the day. So that is one way that you can turn this longwear foundation into a beautiful tinted moisturizer. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys another one of my favorite ways to change the finish of this foundation. For those of you who might be dry and might want to be super radiant and want glowing skin, I love using the Illuminating Moisture Balm. This is amazing. It has pearl reflecting, let me show you guys. It has pearl particles in it that instantly brighten the skin. And it's so pretty. It's beautiful on its own, but when you mix it with a pump of the foundation, you get this beautiful radiant finish. It's so, so stunning. I don't know about you guys, but during the winter, I'm so dry. I start like flaking along my forehead. And when I wear this combination on my skin, it looks like a beautiful summer glow. Yeah, the skin balm is the moisture balm is truly amazing. This is the shade Bare Glow. I love using Bare Glow because I feel like it pairs well even with deeper skin tones. So it's one of my favorite shades. Okay, so for those of you who might have normal or combination skin, like if you get oily throughout the day in the T-zone, I love pairing the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation with a hydrating face cream. This foundation is lightweight, but it moisturizes and is very hydrating, and it doesn't feel greasy throughout the day. So it's perfect to pair with the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. So again, my rule of thumb is just taking a coin-sized amount and mixing 1 or 2 pumps of the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. If you prefer a lighter coverage, I would do 1 pump. And if you prefer a little bit of a fuller coverage, I would recommend 2 pumps. So we're gonna do 1 pump today just to show you guys the finish. And again, I'm just gonna mix that. And so as you can see, this isn't as glowy as the other combinations. So this is going to be perfect for those of you who don't like a lot of shine throughout the day. It's so pretty for just a natural, everyday, on the go girl. Okay, so now that we've covered all of our bases, I'm going to show you guys my tried and true combination, my tried and true, basically, skincare for perfect glowing skin, and that is the vitamin enriched face base. You guys, this is a primer and moisturizer in one. I talk about it all the time. I'm truly obsessed with this product. It has a beautiful cushiony texture that adheres really, really well to your makeup. So it's the perfect layer to pair underneath your makeup. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit of that. Just going to take about that much. I'm going to put a little bit on the back of my hands, and I'm going to mix 1 pump of the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. I'm going to go ahead and mix that, and it's going to give me a beautiful, like, multi-dimensional matte finish. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, this is my daily routine too, you guys. Not only do I use it on myself, I use this on clients because I find that this moisturizer it's just so amazing. It wears really well throughout the day, and I find that I really have to touch up my foundation when I use this under my foundation. Today, I'm going to be mixing it into my foundation just because I'm a little bit more dry, and I want to show you guys how truly versatile this foundation is. So using my full coverage brush, I'm just going to go ahead and start applying that along the jawline. I'm actually going to pin my hair out of the way so that you guys can see. Okay, so I'm just going to start applying that along the jawline. And then I'm going to work my way upwards. The reason why I start at the jawline is because I don't generally like a lot of coverage throughout the center of my face. And starting at the jawline allows me to see whether it's a perfect match. And this foundation is a perfect match. This is the color Natural 4. I also want to point out, you guys, that if you guys are interested in any of the products that I'm sharing today, I do have a special code. It is Melissa Live 15 in case you guys want to shop any of these products. And if you guys are unsure about your shade in the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation, you can set up a one-on-one virtual consult on bobbybrown.com, and someone can guide you to find your perfect match. You can also virtually try on products on the website. It's honestly super, super helpful. I remember growing up when I would like go to Target or Sephora and try to find a foundation color, I would have no idea. It's so intimidating trying to find your perfect match. So it's super, super helpful that Bobbi Brown has people to help. So again, I'm just starting at the jawline and I'm really working that into my skin. This brush is also amazing because it kind of does all of the work for you. The bristles are densely packed, so it's really going to work that product into your skin and really melt it in. Just gonna apply a little bit more where I have a little bit more redness. I'm so happy to see that others mix the vitamin-enriched face base with the foundation. It's honestly one of my favorite tips. Okay, so this is the finish that it gives. As you can see, you can still see my freckles, but I do look luminous. The skin looks healthy, and that is ultimately what you want in a foundation. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a little bit of color corrector because as you guys can see, I have a little bit of discoloration underneath my eye. So I'm gonna go in with the corrector and this is in the shade Bisque. So I'm just gonna take my ring finger and I'm gonna pop that right where I have the most discoloration. So for me, it's usually right in my tear duct and right in this little pocket right here. I love using my fingers because I find that the warmth of my fingertips really help melt the product into my skin. And I'm gonna bring it along this way. Using a corrector underneath concealer is the key to bright under eyes because it helps neutralize discoloration and hyperpigmentation. So now I'm going to go in with the Instant Full Cover Concealer. This is in the shade Beige. And that concealer got rid of most of our darkness. So I'm just going to go in with 2 little drops there. And I'm just going to go ahead and work that in, again, using my finger. This concealer is also very, very long wearing, which is why I love partnering it with the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation because I find that I don't have to touch it up, especially during this time where we're wearing masks and we're constantly putting them on and taking them off. These products work really well together. So here is a side-by-side comparison. As you can see, this side of our face looks nice and bright. We look nice and awake. Whereas this side, you can see that discoloration. You can see the darkness there. So using a color corrector really, really helps you guys. So I'm going to do the other eye now. Again, I'm just using my finger to really work that product into my skin. I do want to note that there are, I believe, 16 different shades in the corrector. So there is a shade for everyone. Which is really nice. That's what I love about Bobbi Brown is that it's a super inclusive brand and they've been doing it since I can remember. They're one of the first brands that I think tried to be super inclusive with the shade range. The Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation actually comes in 43 shades, which is amazing. And the undertones are amazing. They have golden undertones, peach undertones. It's really great. Okay, perfect. So now that I have melted that into my skin, I'm just gonna go back in with my Bobbi Brown brush and I'm really gonna work that in just to make sure that everything is nice and seamless. So prior to applying my moisturizer, I had prepped my skin with the vitamin-enriched eye base. I do want to talk about this really quick, you guys. This is such an amazing product. It helps smooth, plump, and really nourishes your under eye so that your concealer and your makeup just sits really well throughout the day. It's been one of my go-tos. Yeah, I love that trick. Let me actually just do it for you guys. Someone said I mix my eye base with my under eye concealer as well. It basically hydrates my under eyes. So I'm going to take a little bit of that just so that you guys can see. And I'm going to mix that with the Instant Full Cover Concealer. Just going to do 1 drop. And I'm going to mix that, and I'll go ahead and do it on this side just so that you guys can see. So this is going to give the concealer a different consistency. As you can see, it's a lot more balmy, it's a lot more radiant. So if you are someone who has trouble with cakiness under their eyes, I recommend mixing your concealer with the vitamin-enriched eye base. And it will give you a lighter coverage. And it will also make your under eyes super glowy and hydrated. So I'm just popping that under my eye using my ring finger. And you can see it instantly gave us a beautiful luminosity. Just gonna put a little bit here too. Beautiful. All right, so now I'm gonna show you guys another tip that I love for a luminous glow from within. I love using powder highlights, but I find that when I put a little bit of the vitamin-enriched eye base on the high points of my cheeks after I've done my foundation, my highlighter, when I use it later, it just looks so luminous and beautiful. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that on my ring finger as well. I'm going to work it in the back of my hand, and I'm just going to pop that right on the high points of my face. And you can see that this is going to give us a really beautiful glow. I know that many of us think skincare is just a step that we would do prior to foundation, but you can really utilize your skincare in a multitude of ways. Putting a little bit on the top of my forehead. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with a little bit of blush, and this is the Pot Rouge for Lips and Cheeks in the shade Pale Pink. Oh, my hair is looking crazy. And I'm just going to use my Bobbi Brown brush. I'm going to tap just once because this blush is very, very pigmented. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to work it into the back of my hand just to get rid of any excess product. I'm going to smile. And I like to apply blush on the very high point of the cheek, so on the very apple of the cheek, as this is going to create a really beautiful flush. Then I'm just using little patting motions to really work that into my skin. Just doing that on the other side. Do you guys see how pigmented it is? It's so, so beautiful. Even though it's pigmented, it does melt into the skin for a beautiful flushed glow. It's one of my favorite Bobbi Brown products. Now I always like to go back in with my fingers to really melt everything together, just to ensure that there are no harsh lines. The blush color is Pale Pink. It's this really beautiful rosy pink color. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with a little bit of bronzer just to give our skin a little bit of definition. And this is the bronzing powder in the shade Natural. Again, you guys, I do have a special discount code today. It is Melissa Live 15 in case you guys are interested in shopping any of the products. Okay, so using my bronzer brush, I'm going to go ahead and just tap into my bronzer. This is in the shade Natural. And I'm just going to start by applying that on the perimeter of my forehead. This is just going to give us a beautiful warmth to the skin. And again, I'm just using little patting motions. I never really like to swipe because I don't use a lot of powder, again, because I'm dry. So by patting, you are in essence setting your foundation and you're not disturbing anything. I'm gonna pat that. So whenever I bronze my cheeks, I like to kind of turn my head. And do you see this shadow here? If you don't see the shadow naturally, you can always kind of suck your cheek in and you'll find that definition point. And what I like to do is just tap the bronzer right in that area, and it's gonna give you really pretty definition without it being harsh. And if you don't necessarily want to contour, using a fluffy brush like this is gonna give you more of a like blended bronzy look as opposed to like a harsh contour. I do use powder. What I like to do is I like to use powder strategically, and I'll show you guys how. So once I'm done bronzing, I usually like to powder. I always like to take the bronzer along my jawline and a little bit on the tip of my nose. So now that we've gone in with all of our glowy products, this is when I would go in with a little bit of powder. And this is the Bobbi Brown Sheer Finish Loose Powder. And what I'm gonna do is take a touch, like a very small touch of this. And I'm gonna use a tiny brush. This is the eye blender brush. And I tap into the product, I tap off the excess. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just put that right along the under eye area wherever it's a little bit shiny. But before I do that, I'm just gonna go in and make sure that there is no creasing. This way the powder sets everything nicely. So once I've blended that out with my finger, I'm just gonna take that powder and I'm gonna pat it right in that area. And it's very gently going to mattify my under eye. I'm also gonna take it along the sides of my nose and down the mouth. And that's generally the only place that I mattify when I want like a really glowing complexion. Just gonna do the same thing on the other side. Yes, I am wearing the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation, and I went ahead and mixed that with the Vitamin Enriched Face Base to create more of like a tinted moisturizer. So again, I'm taking that and just applying that along the under eyes. And a little bit along the sides of my nose. I'm also going to do a little bit in the center. Hi everyone. Okay, now that we are done with all of our complexion products, I'm just going to go ahead and take my buffing bronzer brush, sorry, my full coverage brush, and I'm going to pat that all over my face again just to melt the bronzer and the blush together. Just using little patting motions. And as a finishing touch, I'm going to go in with the highlighting powder in the shade Pink Glow. I'm obsessed with this highlighter. It's so, so beautiful. And I'm just going to take my ring finger. Remember, we have that, we have the vitamin enriched face base on the high points of our cheek. So you're going to see how beautifully this is going to melt into our skin. So I'm just taking my ring finger and I'm going to apply that right on the high point. And do you guys see how skin-like that glow looks? It is a powder highlight, but by placing the vitamin-enriched face base down, it really, really helps that highlighting powder really melt into the skin. I'm going to go ahead and apply that on the other side. I like using my fingers when applying highlight, especially powder highlight, because I do feel like it really, really melts the product into your skin. And then I also like to take a little bit of that along the Cupid's bow just for a little bit of glow, and then the bridge of the nose. Okay, so now for the fun part. I'm going to show you guys how I do my eyes on a day-to-day basis. It's so, so easy, and it creates this beautiful sort of bronzy, like wearable smoky eye for daytime or nighttime. So I'm going to go in with the Longwear Cream Shadow Stick. This is in the shade Golden Bronze. And I'm just going to go ahead and start applying it along my lash line. And I'm going to work it up until the crease. I'm not going to go in the crease because we're going to go ahead and blend into the crease. And then using my Bobbi Brown Angle Eyeshadow brush, sorry, I'm going to hold a mirror because I can't see that far. I'm just going to start melting the edges of that bronzer stick, the bronzing stick. And I'm just going to start diffusing the edges. And I'm just using tiny little back and forth windshield wiper motions. And you can see that that blends seamlessly. And it's so fast. So it's perfect for a girl on the go or for your Zoom calls. And it has such a beautiful sheen to it also. I'm going to take a little bit of that along my lower lash line as well. And then I'm going to blend it out with that same brush. This is such a beautiful shade. Have any of you guys used the shadow sticks before? I feel like this is such a like OG Bobbi Brown product. Let me go ahead and apply it on the other eye. Yeah, they're super fantastic and so easy. I remember this was like one of the first products that I bought from Bobbi Brown when I started doing makeup, just because they were so easy to use and they pack such a punch. My mom loves these too. So I'm just blending that in using my brush. And then again, I'm going to apply a little bit of that along my lower lash line. Oh, I'm so happy to see you guys love these. Okay, amazing. So now that that is on and was such a breeze, I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara. And whenever I apply mascara, I know a lot of people just like to just kind of apply it in up and down motions. I really like to roll the mascara through my lashes because I find that this helps coat every single lash, and it also helps for the curl to stay throughout the day. The eyeshadow is the Long Wear Cream eyeshadow stick in the shade Golden Bronze. I'm just taking that. Let me go ahead and start on the other eye. You guys, if I was on a deserted island and I could only bring 3 products with me, I feel like this mascara would be one of them. I just feel like mascara is the one thing that you can use that really opens up the eye. Just gonna do one more coat on the other eye. And if you guys make mistakes like that, don't worry. I'm gonna show you an awesome trick to get rid of that. I always try to be so neat when I do my mascara, and no matter what I do, that happens. Can anyone else relate? Just taking that along my lower lash line. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this dry for like 1 or 2 minutes. So it's gonna look super scary for now. But the key is whenever you have smudgy mascara mistakes, don't fret. The last thing you want to do is wipe it off when it first happens. You want to let it dry completely, and then you can go in with a Q-tip and just nick it off. You're going to see that it comes right off. But before I do that, I'm going to let it dry for a little bit longer. And I'm just going to go in with the Bobbi Brown highlighter again. This is in the shade Pink Glow. And I'm just going to apply that on the very high point of my brow, just for a little bit of added glow since our skin is so luminous and radiant. Okay, so I think the mascara should be dry. Okay, so you're gonna take a Q-tip and you're gonna kind of just flick it off. Do you guys see? It's crazy. It's truly magical. Now I'm just gonna go in with just a clean brush and just make sure that I go in with a little bit of foundation there. Okay, so now that our complexion is pretty much done, I'm gonna go in with the Bobbi Brown Pale Mauve Lip Pencil, and this is just gonna help give our lips a little bit of definition. So when lining my lips, I like to start at the Cupid's bow, and I'm just gonna start kind of mapping out the shape that I want. I like to start at the Cupid's bow and then work my way towards the outer corners. This color is so beautiful. Do you guys see how natural it is? And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So it gives our lips a little bit of definition, but it still looks very, very natural. And then when I line the bottom lip, I like to start the very bottom center point and then work my way outwards. To make this look even more realistic, I'm just going to go ahead and use my ring finger to buff out the edges. And this is going to make it look super natural. Okay, so to fill in my lip, I'm going to go in with the Bobbi Brown Crush Oil Infused Gloss. This is such a pretty neutral shade for everyday. And what I love about these is that they're really, really comfortable to wear. Most glosses can be very sticky and sometimes feel strange on the lips, but this is so comfortable and it wears really, really well throughout the day. I'm gonna take my hair clips out. Okay, you guys, that completes today's glowing complexion tutorial. Do you guys have any questions? I had so much fun connecting with all of you here today. Yeah, it's such a beautiful color. Crush Oil Infused Gloss in the shade In the Buff. Crush Oil Infused Gloss in the Buff. And the lip liner I used is Pale Mauve. Yes, I love the Bobbi Brown lip balm. It is one of my favorite products. That's a great tip. If you guys have that at home, I recommend applying that before going in with your lip products. It's a very amazing product. I actually have mine in my purse. Again, I want to remind you guys that I do have a special promo code. It is Melissa Live 15 in case you would like to shop any of the products that I discussed during today's live session. Okay, you guys, it was so lovely connecting with all of you. If you guys have any questions, you guys can DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is Melissa_Hernandez. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys took some great takeaways. I'm telling you, this foundation is a staple. You can truly customize it for a multitude of different finishes, whether you're dry, whether you're oily, or whether you just love a radiant glow. The Illuminating Moisture Balm with the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation is one of my favorite combos, as well as the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation and the Vitamin Enriched Face Base. Thank you so much for everything. I hope to see you guys soon.